It's said that the future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. In the chapters that follow, Perelmuter changes that asymmetry and gives us all who listen closely a great advantage. Josh Wolf, founder and managing director, Lux Capital, March 7th, 2020. Forward to the Brazilian edition. Humankind's standard of living evolved very slowly over millennia, until the Industrial Revolution, the first one in the second half of the 18th century, set in motion a spiral of extraordinary innovation that has not stopped. Since then, productivity has been evolving in a growing number of areas, which multiply and reinforce each other. This involves increasingly specialized ideas, innovations, and processes of both abstract and practical origins, which affect virtually all aspects of our lives today. From an economic standpoint, technology reaches its full potential when it transforms abstract ideas and concepts into products and services that are born, compete, and die on the market. The person who described this process best was Austrian economist Joseph Schumpeter, who dubbed it creative destruction, one of the biggest drivers of growth. Keeping pace with this awesome force is an impossible task for the vast majority of mortals, but not for Guy Perelmuter, who has given us this treasure in the form of a book. A quick glance through the contents gives us an idea of the scope of this work: autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence, social networks, robotics, nanotechnology, big data, and much more. A new topic is presented in each chapter, with a fascinating and beautifully illustrated backstory upon which the author builds to explain the subject, its importance, and its uses in a clear and practical way. The application of technology to production creates opportunities and generates wealth, but it also induces fear and risk. At the top of the list of fears and risks is the future of jobs, the subject of one of the chapters. One of the biggest dreads of the contemporary world is the replacement of people by machines and systems that include artificial intelligence, robots, and other topics covered in this book. It seems increasingly clear that technology and education are natural partners. Brazil urgently needs to accelerate improvements, modernization, and access to education, or the gap between the country and the world's highest standards of living will continue to widen. Not unrelated to technological risks is climate change resulting from global warming. There is no doubt in this case about the role of humanity in what today represents an enormous challenge to the future of our planet. This book also touches on this topic, an absolute imperative that will demand bold responses, including technological solutions, before it is too late. It is possible to imagine genuine revolutions in areas such as health, education, finance, entertainment, transportation, socialization, and much more. This book has come at the right time. As a reader and citizen of the world, I offer my thanks to the author. Arminio Fraga, economist and former president of the Central Bank of Brazil, October 8, 2019. Preface. The Deep Tech Revolution. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. Any of us who are curious, interested, or concerned about what lies ahead would be wise to follow this advice by American computer scientist Alan Kay, who worked at the famous Xerox PARC. Founded in 1970, it gave the world many innovations that are now part of the daily lives of billions of people, including laser printers, the Ethernet, a communication standard currently used by the vast majority of computers, and the graphical user interface, the visual elements like windows and buttons through which we interact with computers, tablets, smartphones, ATMs, and other electronic devices. I, for one, have always been passionate about technology, not only what we have come to experience as modern technology, but pretty much any invention or device that reflects the human spirit of ingenuity and creativity. From the Greek Antikythera mechanism, probably the very first mechanical computer used to